So, you're shopping for a new electric car. You've probably noticed this. You're staring at a lineup of amazing looking EVs, a lot of times from the exact same company. And on paper, they look almost identical. It's a real head scratcher. How in the world do you choose?
Yeah, that really is the question, isn't it? When all these different cars are built on the very same foundation, the same platform, what actually sets them apart? I mean, is it really just about the logo on the hood and some different body panels? Or are there real, tangible differences that you're going to feel every single day you drive it?
And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. We're going to build this whole explainer around a real-world dilemma from a Reddit user, Drainbread, who is trying to pick a new company car and ask this exact question. It's the perfect way to dive in and get some answers.
Now, the cars we're talking about are all heavy hitters from the Volkswagen Group, and they're all built on that shared MEB electric platform. You've got the VW ID.4, which you've probably seen around, the very stylish Cupra Tavascan, and then two from Skoda, the Enyaq and its newer, kind of more compact sibling, the Elroq. On paper, they're all cousins, but let's see how those family dynamics actually play out in the real world.
Okay, so let's toss the marketing brochures aside and get into the messy, awesome reality of daily driving. This is where the specs on a spreadsheet meet the real world, and we're going to see it through the eyes of people who actually own these cars. Right off the bat, one of the biggest lightning rods for discussion across all these models is the software. You can just feel the frustration from this user. Even with the latest updates, they're dealing with these persistent, annoying little bugs. And that's a massive deal when the software is basically how you talk to your car every single day. But then, you see feedback like this. Someone else chose the Skoda Elroq specifically because it has real physical buttons on the steering wheel. This just shows you the split perfectly, you know? For some drivers, the best tech is the simplest tech, the one that just works without a fuss. So it's pretty clear the user experience is a mixed bag. For every person complaining about laggy software or seats that just don't feel right, you've got another person praising the rock-solid build quality or the super practical interior. It really proves that even when they share a platform, each brand makes different choices, different trade-offs. The best car? It really just depends on what you care about most. And you know, sometimes a single number on a spec sheet can be a total deal breaker. Take this comment about the Cupra Tavascan. Its siblings on the very same platform can charge faster, but the Tavascan is capped at 135 kilowatts. Now, if you're someone who does a lot of long road trips, that one spec could easily be enough to knock it right out of the running for you. All right, so all this feedback points to some very different brand priorities. To really get a handle on these trade-offs, let's put one of the newest cars in the group under the microscope as a case study, the Skoda Elroq. Could this be the most rational choice of the bunch? Well, the professional reviewers seem to think so. Autocar magazine absolutely hit the nail on the head, calling it the EV for the EV skeptic. See, it's not trying to reinvent the car. It's just focused on being a really, really good car that just so happens to be electric. And that phrase, "oh, so normal," that's actually incredibly high praise. And a huge part of that normal feeling is just demolishing range anxiety. With its larger 77 kilowatt-hour battery, the Elroq gets an official WLTP-rated range of up to 560 kilometers. Now, we all know real-world numbers can vary, but seeing a number that high just lets you breathe, stop worrying about charging all the time, and just drive. And believe me, this thing is no slouch. The specs for the popular rear-wheel drive model are pretty impressive. We're talking 286 horsepower, which gets you from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in a pretty brisk 6.6 seconds. And that low drag coefficient of 0.26? That's actually a huge deal for making it so efficient on the highway.
Okay, let's get back to charging. Unlike that Tavascan we just mentioned, the Elroq can hit a much healthier peak speed of 175 kilowatts. But here's the thing. What's really important is the average speed over time. Getting from 10 to 80% charge in about 28 minutes is really solid because it means the car holds a good, strong charging speed for most of the session, not just for a few minutes at the very beginning. So, sticking with the Elroq as our guide, let's dive into one of the most brilliant, but honestly often misunderstood pieces of tech in every EV. It's something that directly boosts your range and completely changes the way the car feels to drive. We're talking about regenerative braking. So what is it? Well, to put it simply, when you slow down in an EV, the same motor that powers the car basically runs in reverse. It becomes a generator. It captures the car's forward momentum, all that kinetic energy, and turns it back into electricity.
A regular gas car, it just wastes all that energy as heat from the brakes. An EV actually recycles it. It's amazing. Here's how it all works in 4 simple steps. First, you slow down. That makes the motor reverse its function. Then the power electronics convert that energy, and poof, that juice goes right back into your battery, ready for you to use again. It is such an elegant and incredibly efficient process.
The engineering gets even more clever in the all-wheel drive models because they use 2 totally different types of motors. The rear motor is a super efficient permanent magnet motor that's always on and always ready to regenerate energy. But the front one is an asynchronous motor that can completely disengage and freewheel with zero drag to save energy. It only kicks in when you need that extra bit of power or traction. It is truly the best of both worlds.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's bring all this amazing tech back to the real world and figure out what it actually means for you when you're making that final decision on which car to buy. Here's the most important part. Where you drive completely changes how much energy you can get back. Real-world tests show that on a steady highway cruise, you only recover about 14% of the energy. But in stop-and-go city traffic, that jumps to 34%. And if you're driving in the mountains, you can recapture an incredible 51% of the energy you used to go up the hill on your way back down. And this, right here, is the EV's secret weapon. That massive regeneration on a mountain road makes an EV, like the Elroq, about 5 times more efficient than a similar diesel SUV driving on that exact same road. That's not a small improvement. It's a total game changer in efficiency. Which brings us right back to where we started. When these cars all share a platform, the spec sheet only tells you part of the story. What really, truly matters is how all those little details fit into your life. Is the software snappy and reliable enough for you? Are the seats actually comfortable for your body on a long trip? Does the charging speed fit your travel habits? And maybe most importantly, will the way you drive actually take advantage of all this cool tech? If you live in the mountains, suddenly that regeneration matters way more than peak charging speed, and it completely changes the math.
Ultimately, choosing between these cars isn't about finding the one that's technically the best. It's about finding the one that's best for you. It's a choice that goes way beyond the spec sheet. So the final question I have for you is, what's that one thing, that deciding factor, that would make the choice for you? Thanks so much for joining us.